squeeze out, isn't it? I think I'll have to open it.
That was live.
It looks a bit more.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Merry New Year. And all that.
And all them things there.
I mean, I know the Christmas thing. So.
Yeah, well, you already know. People thinking I'm crazy because I'm saying how I'm not going to be having no Christmas tree and things at my yard. Ever. Yeah, and I'm not joking. And they say, oh, but why?
Because we don't need it.
Exactly. It's not necessary. And if you knew the true origin, well, you might not want it yourself. Yes, I'm on the live. Well, my hair's looking nice.
So we'll just wait a bit till a few more people join us.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that people will chip in.
I hope so. In my opinion, this is a juicy topic. So, you know.
I'm just looking, just 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't joined it yet.
Yeah. There's 2 at the moment. 2 hidden people as well. Are quiet watchers. But anyway, this is quite a hard topic for people, so, you know, they might not want to hear what we have to say, really, because then they're going to have to look at themselves. Hi, Alison.
All right, so let's begin at the beginning, whatever that means. Look at that.
A bit fluff.
It's off that blanket that I got rid of finally.
Oh, the fluff ball blanket.
Yes,
yeah.
I said that had to go.
I'm so glad it was too fluffy, man.
Yeah, it really wasn't very helpful inside this house.
Not at all.
Okay, so let's talk about the first question, and then we'll go on to other things, and let's hope that people will chip in. So my first question was, is Satan Santa? And the answer is yes. Or is Santa Satan?
Yeah.
That's my answer. Why do I say that? Because he is. Now, for those who would like to be very educative, they will go and tell us, but actually, Santa Claus is a transliteration of Saint Nicholas. Yeah, we know that was the idea. And yes, there was a real Saint Nicholas, a German geezer, who actually did give gifts to children and orphans and so forth. Orphaned children even. You know, and he did do benevolent works amongst deprived people groups. That was a real person. And he did it around the 25th of December. And you can go and Google him, Saint Nicholas, German, so Nicholas, you know, Naikolaus probably. And yeah, the information is there. However, my point of why I say is Satan Santa Satan is because that's not really what the Christmas that we're looking at has anything to do with that Saint Nicholas. Many people have not heard of him. Most people would not acknowledge him as anybody to be spoken about or thought about on the 25th of December.
No.
If we take that out of the equation and then just talk to Christians from another perspective, they would not see Saint Nicholas as a Christian to emulate because of the 25th of December.
For a whole period of time and celebration.
So that's not it. So then what does that leave us with in terms of the Santa Claus? Well, Santa Claus, as we know, other than that, let's look at what goes along with Santa Claus, and that's where we can understand who he is and what he is. Even in the songs that are sung about him, riding on the wind. So riding on an elemental spirit. Right? And okay, those who don't know, well, you go read your Bible and you'll see. The wind is one of the elements. Wind, wind, which is air.
Yeah.
There's water, there's fire, and earth.
Yeah.
So he's using one of the four elements, which the four elements are both positive and negative, and the negative aspect of it is the demonic.
The demonic.
And that's what he's using, because who is he?
Exactly.
So he's riding on the air, the wind. He's riding through the air on a chariot.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things speak for themselves. He's okay. Forget about the fact that he's dressed up in funny clothes. Many men do that now, anyway.
Yeah.
But you know,
even the red is not.
Yeah, well, it's significant of something in itself. And he's riding, and then he has elves, gnomes, pixies, and dwarves working for him.
Yeah.
All of those are elemental earth spirits. Oh, don't know about that? Well, no problem. You go look it up.
Yeah.
Go look it up. Go Google it, and you'll find out they are all elemental earth spirits.
And they exist.
They are magical.
Magical creatures.
Is witchcraft.
Yep.
Magic belongs in the realm of Satan. So, what's it all about? Because it's another way of causing people to believe in magic.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Christmas is magical.
Christmas.
The magic. No, there's not magic of Christmas. If we're gonna look at anything about Christmas, take it from even the name, Christ.
Yeah.
But that's why people are now telling people Merry Xmas.
Yeah.
What is Xmas?
Happy holidays.
Or happy holidays. May you have a wonderful. And of course, they're saying happy holidays to appease the Muslims and Hindus and so on and so forth. I spoke to a friend of mine. She's a friend. She's my mentee, if you like, in Nepal, the only Hindu kingdom in the world. She said Christmas there is one day only. There's no holiday. She said because anyway, everybody else is not celebrating.
Yeah.
And so for the Christians, they're not bothered. So they give them Christmas Day only.
Off, yeah. Whereas here it's a 2-day. even
this year,
3 days.
This year it's more.
Yeah.
Because Christmas Day is on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So that means Christmas Day is Saturday, Boxing Day, Sunday. So you don't get those 2 days. So then Monday and Tuesday are the holidays.
Are the holidays, yeah. It's a long Christmas. Because even some people's Christmas Day started on Christmas Eve, the Friday. And already children have finished school and all of that.
Polish, the ones who they start their Christmas on the 24th. They have a mass and so on and so forth. And now for them, as Christians, and the majority of them, or many of them being Catholics.
Yeah, Catholics.
They're going to tell you, well, they're having the midnight mass and starting their Christmas from the 24th because they're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, depending on what people comment and say, we won't be on here for very long. But what we're saying is, okay, if you're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, there's some questions that have to be asked, which some people are answering them anyway. They answer them at Christmas time or around this time of year, and they answer them with their own philosophy.
Yeah.
But the questions still need to be asked. Well, first and foremost, 25th of December, is that his birthday? I'm not going to dig too far into the historicity of it. I will say one or two things. And simply because I don't want people to force me to accept the 25th of December as the day that Jesus was born. because I don't believe that.
Me neither.
For several reasons, and not just even the evidential facts, as in, he should have been born at a different time of year than that, but also because the 25th of December is a convenient date for other activities other than the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, coinciding with other festivals.
You want to say more?
I've got quite a lot of notes.
Go on then.
About it actually.
Let's go there before we go anywhere else, because we've already said, and we'll come back to Santa. He uses magic, so we already know he's of the devil.
Exactly, simple as that. And if you look into this winter holiday, as they call it, winter, there are actually two pagan festivals that are that coincide with this time, this period of time.
This time period of the year.
So there's the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, as they call it. And that usually falls around the 21st or the 22nd of December, just before Christmas, as they call it. And then there is the main one, which I think quite a few people actually do know about, but they pretend that they don't, which is Saturnalia. Yeah, and that one is a week-long thing. So it starts from the 17th of December all the way up until the 25th of December. So the pagans celebrate from that day until the full week, which is probably why a lot of schools as well, anyway, they take them out of school about the week before Christmas. So it's usually around that time, isn't it, that children come out of school about the week before Christmas. So for the solstice, for pagans, Yule is the Sabbat that follows on the winter solstice and marks the day when the dark half of the year surrenders to the light half. Already that even just sounds strange. And Samhain, or Halloween, as it's known by everybody else. At Halloween, the goddess follows the god into the underworld, sending the earth into wintry darkness. But when Yule comes, the goddess
Yuletide.
Yuletide. When Yule comes, the goddess returns pregnant and births the god of the waxing sun, who defeats the god of the waning. Yule mourns the old god and lord of winter, interpreted through the years as Santa Claus and Father Christmas. Yeah, so that's already showing you where this version of Santa Claus that they try to pretend is Saint Nicholas to make it more appealing and acceptable for everyone, when really they knew where they were getting this idea from in the first place. Yeah. So it says this time Yule is a time for celebration for pagans and Wicca across the world. So that's all witches, warlocks, whatever you are, you're practicing this holiday. You're participating in this holiday. It's a time that they say to honor the gods associated with the sun and rebirth. So Odin, Kronos, and Pan. The first celebrations, listen to this, can be traced to Stonehenge and then further all across the world. So Stonehenge, yeah, and we all knew anyway that is some sort of, do you know what I mean, altar for witches and wizards. Anybody that knows their history anyway and knows how the world works knows that that's what it's for. But this just further proves that they were clearly doing a lot of rituals, sacrifices, whatever, at Stonehenge. So it wasn't until 325 AD that Christmas was introduced over the springtime, and another 25 years before it was moved to the winter solstice with the pagan sun gods. So many pagan traditions still carry on today as well, which is what I was talking about when we first opened up, which is like the Christmas tree, as they call it. And that Pagans have decorated trees to celebrate the solstice, since it began. So they've always decorated their trees. In Rome, they would have clippings of shrubs brought inside, hung with tin ornaments, so tinsel, as we
That's
call
right.
it now.
Yes.
Yeah, and masks of Bacchus,
Bacchus. Yeah.
Bacchus, yeah, the Roman god of wine.
Wine and debauchery.
See what I mean?
The get on bad god.
It's their evening family bun up them pagan holiday. Israel, don't make me laugh. So it says Odin is honored by decorating the trees with fruit and candles, which was a very common thing before baubles became like the norm.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
they used to decorate them with real candles,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, some people were burning down their house.
Exactly.
So that's why they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they used to do.
Mhm.
And fruit was always hung on the tree.
Yeah, always.
Specifically, especially like those mini, what are they called? Satsumas, the mini, the little
mini
one.
oranges, yeah.
Satsumas
Yeah.
were hung on the tree.
The festive fruits
You know, and stuff
things.
like that. So
Dried fruits.
this
and
is
little
why,
things.
and those conkers and all them type of things.
Yeah. All those sorts of little things that you can say, was Anita has said, indeed, it is a pagan celebration. Yes, it is. And listen to this now. This is what's going to shock you the most about the Christmas tree, right? Sacrificial victims were often buried underneath the trees, and sacred groves were grown. This meant that when pagans worshipped the gods, they offered presents at the foot of the tree, a tradition that has led to the laying of the gifts underneath the tree, which is what people do now, you know, with the presents under the tree and etc. So can you imagine? They're doing their human sacrifices up from the beginning of their Saturnalia to the end, and then burying the thing and planting the tree. And of course, leaving that person as the sacrificial nutrients, if you want to call it that, for the tree, basically in the winter period and time. Yeah. So Saturnalia also included. This is like what they would do is it's like how it is now, except from the 17th it would be there'd be no school, no businesses open, or the market or anything like that. Everything would be shut down for these festivities, and they would go into the main part of the city or the town or the village, and the kings and the lords, etc., would all put together. It would be one main person each year that would be in charge of the festivities. So they would then have to put their money together to pay for the bakery, the farmers and the cultivators, to bring all the food together to have a big massive feast. And these feasts would be going on for days and days on end. But in turn, also with this feast, of course, was a lot of drinking of the wine and the alcohol. So when this thing, they used to get highly intoxicated. They used to be doing human sacrifice, caroling, naked, walking around the streets naked, singing, and all these things, raping people and doing all this awful stuff. And in between this period of time, it was like a purge. So like the film The Purge, there was no, what's the word? There was no consequences for your disgusting actions during the solstice period of time.
That's
you could do what you liked, and it was all right, you know, because it's solstice, it's yay solstice or whatever they'd be shouting. I can't remember, yo solstice or something. That's what they'd be shouting. And people who didn't want to participate or celebrate used to be getting harassed and badgered. Even they'd be partying all night so people can't sleep, shouting in the streets and banging on people's doors and all these sorts of things, of people who must have been, you know, true believers of God at the time and weren't participating in the pagan festivals. They were getting harassed and ridiculed by the people, because, oh, why are you not participating in our, in our festivities? And of course, with the drinking and whatever else they were doing then, because I'm sure there was some substances that they were using.
Mhm.
Yeah, so whatever else they were doing, plus the drinking of the
That's
wine,
right.
yeah, is what in turn created this chaotic behavior that was going on during this time period. So let's see what else I've got here.
I just want to say one thing about
Yeah,
December
go ahead.
December the 25th in
Mm.
terms of the. I mean, there's a lot of information about how the date came about.
Yeah.
Tamar's mentioning the paganistic aspect.
Yeah.
From the Christian so-called point of view, there were two schools of thought. Back in the day when the Catholics ruled Christianity,
Yes.
and they feel that they still do, but they don't. But back in the day when they did rule Christianity, you had the Holy Roman Empire, which was basically both religious and political.
Yep.
And you had the Western Empire and the Eastern Empire.
Mm.
The Western Empire, following paganistic rituals, in my opinion. Those who don't believe that, that's fine. But I believe that's what they were following, because that's who they were. They followed one of the rituals they followed was Sol Invictus, which was the victory of the sun.
Yeah.
And that was December the 25th. So the Western church, the Western Catholic Church, said December the 25th was the birthday of Jesus. The Eastern, which by then would have been headquartered in Armenia and places like that, they had December the 6th. Sorry, not December, January the 6th. So I used to wonder, I can remember before when I was a kid, well, why do they tell people keep your decorations up and take them down on January the 6th?
Yeah.
And because, always they have to justify their rubbish, they bastardized the dates and said, oh, January the 6th was what the Eastern Catholic Church believed to be the date of the birth of Jesus.
Yeah.
Then they changed it and said, no, January the 6th was when the three wise men found them. So that would make 12 days between the 25th and the 6th.
Yeah.
And this is why because they're saying, well, this is this is the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
See, all these things, when you start to see them, they come from somewhere.
That
12
days of Christmas.
And that's why they tell them, yes, by the 6th of January, you should take down your present, or it's bad luck even.
Yeah, what rubbish is
and
that?
I remember telling somebody, not that I had decorations up, I said if I did, I'll keep them up the whole year. I said, because that's foolishness.
No bad luck is coming.
There's no bad luck coming to me because of that, because that's not even why or how you should be celebrating the birth of Jesus.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to argue the point about the date, which by the way I don't, but let's just talk about it. My personal belief is that it is not the 25th of December when Jesus was born.
No chance.
All right.
Use common sense.
There's many other, like I just said, Sol Invictus was one of the festivals that was celebrated on the 25th. Tamar's already mentioned some. She's probably got more. Then for those who like to say, well, you've got to follow the roots of Christianity, blah, 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 blah. Okay. If we follow the roots of Christianity, there wasn't really a discussion about the date of the birth of Jesus in the early church.
No, there wasn't.
And when I say the early church, I'm talking the 1st century, the 2nd century. But the pagan festivals did exist. Yeah, and they were still existing on the 25th of December.
Yep.
By the 3rd century, 312 AD, when Constantine lied that he had become a Christian. And why do I say lied? Because there are many Christians especially those ones who go and study books, which they're forgetting that some of those books are written by demonized people
Yeah.
who are pretending to be
Yeah.
Christians,
And you're swallowing it up.
right? And Constantine, so I'm a Christian. I've seen a cross, and because he saw a cross, now he's become a
Now
Christian,
he's a Christian, yeah.
and then was going around instead of now chopping up people just in the name of Rome, he now is chopping them up in the name of the cross. So which made it better, according to him.
For him, for his conscience.
So he's chopping them up in the name of the cross, and he now decided, yes, we have evidence that Jesus was born on the 25th. Of course you would, because you're a pagan.
Exactly. So you want that to be the
want
date.
that date.
So then when you're because that's the thing, you've got to think about it. There are still, as we know, there are still pagans in the world now. I'm not going to name the names just for the sake of it. I'm just going to be politically nice today, and I'm not going to name some of the names who are pagan, and we know they are, but there are some people high up in this world, or elite, as they want to call it, who are pagans, and they want to be able to celebrate their little festivals and their little whatever's times of worship, as they want to call it, with no questions, question asked about their activities or what they're doing. If it didn't coincide and they were always partying it up from the 17th to the 25th, you'd be starting to think, this is a bit strange. What's going on here? Yeah, exactly. Oh, got a comment here.
Yeah, trying to get to it.
Oh, that's that name that I like, but I can never say right.
So he says, Antiochus Epiphanes,
that's it,
on the 25th of December in the year 168, slew and offered a sow, a female pig, to the pagan deity Jupiter in the house of the true and living God, and compelled the Jews to eat swine flesh.
You see?
Yeah. And that's a fact that can be found in history, right? And this is what I'm saying, that this is why then I think I did say something wrong. I think I said there wasn't interest in the date of the birth of Jesus. What I meant to say was there was.
Oh.
In the 1st and 2nd century, in the real church, there was interest.
Yeah.
In the birth, and the reason being because of what Israel has just said, because they wanted to prove a point that it's not going to match that date of the sacrilege of the temple.
Yeah, never. It never.
And this is what they were trying to show, that the sacrilege of the temple, which happened on the 25th of December 168 by Antiochus Epiphanes, it's all satanic. So it's all linked. So hence the reason why I said right at the beginning, is Santa Satan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all linked, because it is all a plan of Satan.
Yep.
The whole Christmas period and what it all represents and what's happening and the behavior of people, the attitude of people, it is all satanic.
This is supposed to be a old season time, happy time, family time. When you go to the shop, people are nearly boxing you out the way.
Yeah.
Or have faces of thunder on and all.
And that's right, because they've got to buy what they've got to buy.
Yeah.
They're overeating because it's an indulgence time. And forget it, okay, yeah, Christians, we can talk to them separately if you like, and say, well, okay, Christians, do you want to remember the fact that Jesus was born, etc., etc.? Well, yes, but that's not as important as the fact that he died and rose again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's actually the more important bit of it.
Important part. Yeah.
And that's the bit that's actually an issue for the kingdom of Satan, that he died and rose again.
Yeah.
And sits at the right hand of the Almighty God with power. That is the bit that is an issue for the kingdom of darkness.
Yeah. Which
right.
is why they have to create confusion.
Exactly. So that you don't understand, and then I have to use this date because I have to worship his birth. No, you don't.
No. If you want to just chill.
It can be a day because
because we get the day off anyway,
we have days where as a family we'll eat together.
Yeah.
We have even a Friday where we decide we're watching a movie. We'll
Mhm.
get food, we'll sit, we'll eat together,
Yeah.
and we'll share family time together.
Yeah.
So for us, that day is another day to do such type of
Yeah.
things.
Family.
We
day.
will eat food as a family.
Mhm.
We will
Play
play games, watch
watch
certain
TV.
movies,
Yeah.
and so forth. That's what it's all about. But if I'm going to tell you, listen, you need to know that Jesus was born on this day, and nah,
Yeah.
because I personally do not see enough strength in the evidence to accept that.
Yeah. For real.
And
You don't even have to
also,
dig far.
there are too many other. I'm sure you got more notes to come.
Mhm.
There are too many other things that happened negatively,
Yeah.
demonically, and satanically on that 25th of December.
Yeah.
And they're not coincidence.
No.
And
not
there's too
at all.
many links from that with what we see
Yeah.
of the decorations, of the Christmas tree, of what the Christmas tree represents,
Mhm.
what the Christmas tree symbolizes,
Yeah.
how the Christmas tree looks, how the Christmas tree is dressed,
Mhm.
and even the giving of the gifts,
Yeah.
the significance behind the giving of the gifts. Because people even sometimes are like they're compelled.
Yeah.
They give you some crusty looking socks, in a pack because it's Christmas. I got to give them something. Or give you some ugly looking hankies or you know something like that. Leave it.
It's funny. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I think a lot of people. No, do you know what? Let me just get into it. Let me stop being political.
Just
a lot
say
of
what you're saying.
Christians, yeah, don't want to accept the truth of the holiday as the festivities. They don't want to accept the truth. Yeah, that's why they'll still put up their Christmas tree and their lights and their Christmas wreath and their little decorations around their house for Christmas time. And they'll even be saying, "Oh yeah, it looks lovely and festive." But the thing is, a pagan, yeah, the pagans, people who don't believe in Jesus or Christianity or anything to do with God at all, they still enjoy Christmas, as they call it, hard. And they go in hard for Christmas as well. More than even so than some Christians. And this is supposed to be a Christian holiday, imagine. That's how they paint it. But people are here. Look at the people who are not Christians. Their house is decked to the fullest, full of lights and decoration and Santas and sleighs and all of it. Everything is on that house. And on the inside, the same story. 100 trees, one at the front door, one in the kitchen, one in the front room. Trees all over the place, lights all over the place. Yeah, and they don't see anything wrong with it. But when you start speaking to them about it, when you say, "Oh well, I like me personally," I've said many a times this year. This was before Christmas even came. Actually, I said it from last year Christmas that I'm never going to have a Christmas tree when I have my own house. Never. Not once. Why? Because it's not necessary. And now that I know the truth, why would I continue to get a Christmas tree when I know the truth and the true meaning behind the Christmas tree? But too many Christians are stuck in tradition. Yeah, stuck by these traditions of the world that they've been brought up in. So for them, everybody is too much thinking about what others are going to think. So, "Oh, well, I can't not have a Christmas tree because then people in my family are going to ask me, 'Oh, why ain't you got a Christmas tree? Your house looks dry.'" Do I care? Yeah, answer that question. That's me answering that question honestly. Do I care?
Do I care?
No. Because when they ask me, I'll be saying, "Well, no, I'm not having a Christmas tree." And I'll be telling them exactly why. And guess what? They'll be shushing because they won't have nothing to say.
There's nothing to say to that.
What more is there to say? But I think people are too, caught up in traditions and because it's such a massive holiday, isn't it? This is like the biggest one of all of them, the Christmas time, as they call it, the festive period. Yeah, this is like the biggest festival time of celebration for the whole world, literally the whole world almost, apart from, like Dad said before, Hindus and extreme Muslims, because even some Muslims that are not that extreme, they still celebrate Christmas, just in their own style. So they just don't, they're not acknowledging the birth of Jesus part, the so-called birth of Jesus part. They just acknowledge the actual pagan part of it, which is worse. And I'm sure they don't even realize that that's what they're doing, but that's exactly what they're doing. Because remember, they don't believe Jesus was born or has come yet. So if they don't believe Jesus was born, what are they celebrating on the Christmas time? All of the pagan festivals and festivities. Yeah, so I've got as well here. I've got just a little bit more about some of the, what are they called? Decorations. So it says here, the tradition of mistletoe, which is something that everybody's always, oh yeah, just do a kiss under the mistletoe. And from young, the thing is, God is funny anyway, because from young, I used to think, nah, this is very strange.
Bonda.
Yeah, I used to always think, what rubbish? Why are you kissing under a piece of leaf? What rubbish is this? Why? Yeah. So it says it comes from the beginning Norse tale of Balder, son of Odin and Frigga. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after a premonition of his death, his mother protected him against all the elements, so the elemental spirits that must have wanted to kill him off, to secure his immortality, but forgot about mistletoe. The mischievous god Loki then made an arrow tipped with mistletoe and killed Balder. Heartbroken, his mother resurrected him and vowed that mistletoe would never be again used for harm. Her tears became the white berries of the plant, and she promised that whoever walked under it would be kissed. So
straight paganism.
Paganism, yeah.
Kissed by the demon gods.
Kissed by the demonic gods. If you basically, what they're telling you is, in the pagan religion, which is worshipping all gods and deities and celestial beings that are on this earth, what it's telling you there is, put up your mistletoe and you'll be blessed by Frigga. She'll bless you and give you a kiss of festive times. What rubbish. I'm telling you.
What's Anita said here?
Let's have a look.
Christmas and Halloween is for wolves in sheep's clothing, pagans pretending to be Christians, but by their fruits you will know them. So we are not fooled. Yes, absolutely.
Because I saw this scripture, and it's funny because the scripture just came up, right? And this was yesterday, and I wasn't even looking for anything, but the scripture came up. And let me see. Let me find this scripture again. Just had it on here. Where is it? It's Matthew anyway. Matthew 15, verse 7 to 9. Let me just open up the Bible. See it. Oh, mine is on quiet. So, and it reads, I'll start from verse 7, and it reads, "You hypocrites, Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules." This is a NIV version. So let me do the King James. Let me do the New King James. These people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. and in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. Yeah. That scripture is simple. What do you think it's talking about? It's talking about Christmas. Yeah. And the fake holidays that we have been made to believe that are the real holidays, the real things of this, and when they're not. The timing is not correct. If you even use your common sense, literally all you have to do is look into the area that Jesus was born and the time. Remember, the stable was free because the animals were sleeping outside. Yeah, in December.
So that means it wasn't cold.
In December,
the
animals are in.
They're inside.
Yeah. So what rubbish?
But of course we don't know, do we? We're just dumb.
Yeah, we're just foolish. There's a comment here, isn't there?
Yeah, my thing keeps freezing.
Yeah, so does mine. They're not liking what we're chatting, that's why. Yes, so Israel has put a nice little comment here. It always Nimrod, innit? Nimrod was on his real rubbish back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Israel has commented here. The origin of the Christmas tree comes from Semiramis, the mother and wife. Imagine, mother and wife. I'll never get over that. Of Nimrod, who promoted a doctrine that Nimrod reigns as a spirit being after Nimrod died. She claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang from a dead tree stump, which symbolized the springing forth unto new life of the dead Nimrod. So this is where the burying your sacrifices underneath the tree business clearly came from Semiramis and her foolishness that she was on back in the day. She was on it hard. Yeah, big time, spreading the devil's confusion and new version of faith and practices and teachings. Yeah, to confuse people. Just like that comment.
So she was the one who initiated Nimrod into the witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly.
For him to understand witchcraft, because clearly Nimrod's mother was the seed of a serpent.
Yeah, 100%. She had to have been, because why else was she so in what's he said here?
I can't read
the
it.
next one is too far. Let me get on the. Every time it's like I have to keep coming out to see the.
Yeah, I did. And Nimrod used to visit the tree with gifts, it said.
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything else there.
No, that's it. Yeah, Nimrod.
Exactly, and that's where all this whole thing, and then of course, they use trees as idols in general, so that they worship the trees.
Yeah.
This is why even witches like to go out and tell you, people call witches tree huggers.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because they go and they talk to the trees.
Because they talk to the trees and they know what they know
the trees and all those things.
And what they're talking to.
They know what spirits are in that tree, in those old trees.
When they're going to the forest and stuff, they know.
They know what they're doing.
You see,
they're going for the forest.
And
spirits.
when people are bringing those trees into their home, so it's just a tree, just for Christmas, and I'm just dressing it. You're glorifying the tree.
Yeah, you are.
Because the thing is that the obvious question. What useful purpose is there in dressing a tree and having it sat in your house to remember about Jesus Christ?
Yeah, please.
Now, I know there's some people who have equated that to birthdays, and they've said, well, we don't need to celebrate birthdays, as in, my personal birthday or her birthday and so forth. Well, that's not the same.
Not at all.
Because that's a personalized thing.
Yeah.
We are here on the earth, and we can celebrate ourselves.
Yeah.
We can give thanks for passing another year. So that's quite different.
Yeah.
But I don't dress a tree with baubles and tinsel and
whatever.
Whatever it is, and stand at mistletoe and so forth,
and all that rubbish.
because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
I find
nothing to do.
No, I find a decent place to go and eat food.
Yeah.
And
have a nice piece of cake. You know what I mean? And that's how you enjoy.
Celebrated my brother-in-law's birthday the other day. We went to a nice restaurant. We had nice food. We had a bit of a laugh in there.
Yeah.
About one thing and another. including trying to work out who was the boss and who wasn't, and all these type of things. But we didn't dress a tree at any time.
No.
You know,
We enjoyed each other's
we didn't
company.
bring tinsel
No.
or whatever else, because none of that is necessary
No.
or relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But now you are expected to do all of that for Christmas, or you're not celebrating Christmas.
Yeah. Like I said, then people are calling you dry, and or even
Where's
like
your
what people try
tree?
to tell me, oh, you Scrooge.
You're
Let me be
Scrooge,
Scrooge.
you're a Grinch.
Yeah, let me be Scrooge.
You know,
That's fine.
where's your tree?
Because Scrooge knew it was all foolishness. Yeah, so let me be Scrooge. Yeah, I'll be that half part of Scrooge that knew the Christmas and all the decorating and all that was unnecessary.
It's not necessary. It's not necessary, and it's
Yeah.
got nothing to do with being a Grinch or a Scrooge.
No,
Actually, I am not telling anybody,
yeah,
Christian or not, that you cannot remember the birth of Jesus Christ. I'm not saying that.
no,
But if you want to argue with me that, as far as you're concerned, you're adamant that he was born on the 25th of December, I will argue back that you are wrong.
yeah, you're wrong.
I have enough evidence, and you can bring me your evidence that says that it is. I can bring you plenty that says that it isn't.
Yeah, it is not.
Right? So let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact is that I don't need to look at the 25th of December to be able to remember that Jesus was born.
Yeah.
And as far as the gospel is concerned, the gospel, when we give a definition of the gospel, all right, we're not talking about the birth. We're talking about the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's the gospel.
Yeah, for real.
We know he was born. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was it at that time? Because the argument of how they got that date, and again, you can look this up. There was a historian by the name of Sextus Africanus.
Oh, yes.
Changed it to, or let's say he purported for it to be December the 25th, because he said Jesus was conceived on March the 25th. And so if you calculate from March until December, then that's when he was born, boom. And that's why we have, and I mean, like, who told him?
Yeah. Were you there?
You know, what was he in their bedroom?
This is what I want to know. Were you there when the angel came to Mary? Because if you weren't, I'm not trying to hear it. Simple as that.
You know, but he's using that as an excuse because he's bent that it must be that date, because it fits their witchcraft agenda.
Exactly.
And the problem that we have in this day and age is that people don't want to recognize witchcraft where it is
as a real thing. Yeah.
You know, they want to. Oh well, you know,
just pretend.
These people are funny. That's all.
Yeah, no. They're just strange. That's what they've done. Oh, they're just strange characters.
No.
Strange people. No.
No,
they
witches.
know what they're doing.
They're demonized.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you tell people that. Well, anyway, let me not even get into that because it's another subject in itself. But you know, we know cannibalism existed,
for real.
But all of a sudden now it doesn't.
Now
well,
it doesn't. Of course.
It does.
And there's, you know what it
there
is.
Lots
right?
of them
they don't
eating
even
people.
Hide it. They don't hide it. It's because people are blind. The same as Christmas. Yeah. They don't hide it. What they're doing. Look at big corporations. Are they focusing on the birth of Jesus, or are they focusing on Santa? Yeah, aka Satan. And the answer is Santa. Yeah, Coca-Cola is the one who actually manufactured the color that Santa now wears, which is red. Yeah. And
they and it's not coincidence that their cans are red.
Exactly. Yeah. Why? They know what they're doing. So you've got Coca-Cola.
And we're not telling you not to drink Coca-Cola.
Of course not.
But bun Coca-Cola.
Yeah, for real.
Because it's not good for you anyway.
No, it's not good for you. I don't drink Coca-Cola at all. Really.
So
it would have to be there's no drink.
Even the dog doesn't want to drink it.
No. Yeah, and that's what everybody always says. If your dog doesn't want to drink or eat something, you shouldn't be eating it, because that means there's poison in there. Yeah. So people can drink their Coca-Cola and eat their Cadbury's chocolate, and you know, because Cadbury's is another one that's hard on the Santa Claus business.
Mhm.
Yeah, doing the same thing. Oh, Christmas is all about Santa and da da da, and children.
It's all about the magic of Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, he comes around everywhere and drops off his presents. Even, and the thing is, right, when you really think about it deeply, there is a strange old man who's coming to people's yards, eating their biscuit and drinking their milk, yeah, and sneaking in through the, so basically a robber,
Sneaking into your children's bedrooms.
sneaking into your children's bedrooms to visit them and eating their snacks and
by
treats.
magic.
And if you don't leave a nice snack or treat, oh, he's not going to eat it, and all these sorts of strange things. And then, oh, if you're bad as well, he's coming to punish you and bring you coal in your stocking. Yeah.
Oh, even that one.
Yeah, because that's got deeper thing as well, hasn't it?
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna find something.
Yeah. Yeah. So even that shows you already. Is that not strange that he's flying all around the world? Yeah, in one night, visiting every child on the planet and deciding whether they're good or bad, and then if they're good, he's giving them presents and whatnot. Why? To carry on worshipping him. And if they're bad and they're not being in the good Christmas spirit, as they call it, then you're getting coal or an orange or something, you know what I mean? They're basically something dry. Yeah, and that's to tell you, oh, you have to be a good boy or a good girl, or you don't get any presents at Christmas, and blah, blah, blah. So this is something that, of course, pagans, once again, put forth onto their children to try and control their behaviors or whatever, you know, probably because in this solstice time, a lot of chaos and wildness is occurring, which is what we spoke about just before. So maybe this is why they thought to bring along the idea of Santa and gifts and not getting gifts if you're bad and etc., to try and kind of control the behaviors of people and dull it down a bit more, so that then it could go more underground and they could pretend to rise up the fake Christian view of Christmas, and spread that so that people will accept it. Because of course, if they were to spread their version, the solstice, Yuletide, etc., nobody is going to accept that. Even now, today, nobody would be. They'd be saying, "Oh, nah, I'm not interested in that. Forget that." Yeah, that's what they'd be saying. They'd be saying, "Oh no, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Nah, we'll just leave that one. We won't be involved in that holiday. We'll just stay away from it." Yeah.
And you see, back to my question, is Santa Satan?
Yeah.
Let me read you this. Krampus.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Krampus is a horned anthropomorphic figure in Central and Eastern Alpine folklore stories.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah.
Because the first way that any history was ever given was by stories. During the Christmas season, he scares children who have misbehaved. Assisting St. Nicholas, the pair visit children. So, right, assisting the
him,
mythological St. Nicholas,
who's supposed to be nice and
right, and who's nice, but he's walking with Krampus.
Yeah.
So just the two of them are the same. Because what does the Bible say? How can two walk together unless they agree?
Yeah. I'm just looking at pictures to see if I can.
So Krampus would walk with St. Nicholas, apparently. Yeah. St. Nicholas would give out gifts of oranges, dried fruit, walnuts, chocolate, etc., which are all the things that they put into the Christmas stocking.
Yeah,
that's the
stocking,
originally. Yeah. And misbehaving ones would receive punishment from Krampus with birch rods. So he'd give them a beating.
Yeah, beat them. That's what he'd be doing. So they'd be getting licks and who knows whatever else. Because also these are the images, what you find when you search, yeah. Yeah. You can see it. Oh, yeah, that's it. Look.
Lovely so looking guy.
It comes like he's almost, that to me, we can't see too good on this one.
That's a demon.
Yeah. That's a demon. Look at it. Licking the child. Why? So
Because-
clearly he was
because
eating them as well.
licking the child because he's what's his name? Who's that president there now?
Joe
Joe
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah.
That's his kind of nastiness, isn't it?
hmm
We might as well nickname him Krampus.
Yeah. And look at this one, another picture, which shows, look, what has he done? He's even taken the child in this picture. So the child has been kidnapped.
Hey, God of Jesus!
Yeah. Serious things. These pictures.
Hey!
So you can't even show it good.
Oops. Here's another Krampus for you.
Yeah.
There you go. That's better. You can see that now. Really lovely looking.
Mm,
Look at that. Krampus.
disgusting. And he wrote, and remember, he's rolling around with Santa
Yeah, him
in the sleigh.
and Santa are just together
They're friends.
because you know that's the personification of evil.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do they usually show for a personification as well of the devil? Something that looks like that.
Like that.
Some
That's
sort
right.
of horned beast with hoofs and whatever. Yeah. So they know what they're trying to tell you without telling you. They think they're funny. Let's see what's. There's a comment here. They keep trying it, man. Oof. Israel's wrote a long one here.
So they say Krampus derives from a pagan supernatural who was assimilated to the Christian devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See? There you go then. So that already tells you it's not no coincidence. That means it is the devil who they are personifying through Krampus, as they want to call him. Because of course they had to give a different name. Because just like now, today, in this time period, the devil and his worshippers, can never be known. It can't be too clear for people to know. Hence Freemasons and what have you today, as they call themselves, but state that they don't worship the devil, but it's quite clear and obvious that they worship the devil and they're sorcerers and they learn magic, and that's what the secrets are that they claim. Oh, they can't tell anybody the secrets of the and treasures of the earth. Yes, magic and sorcery, yeah, and information that people don't know about, the elites and what truly goes on the earth. Let's see. Should I read Israel's comment?
Mm-hmm.
Israel has said, when you check the birth date of Jesus, it would land somewhere between July and September. The angel Gabriel visited Mary in the sixth month. Don't know why I just said it like that. Luke 1, chapter 26. Luke chapter 1, verse 26. I'm getting a bit tongue-tied now. The Hebrew calendar begins in March/April, so the sixth month would be around September. The Hebrew calendar has a leap year every 19 years, which bears a 13th month. The time from conception to birth is 40 weeks, which is equal to 10 lunar months. Some Christians believe Jesus was born the 11th of September and believe the massacre of 9/11 was used to blaspheme the birth of Christ. Boy. That's serious things there. Well. Yeah, I can see that. Actually, because they try to blaspheme and debaucherize every kind of real celebration, remembrance, memory of Jesus and the true nature. Let's see what else I've got here. Just trying to sift through these notes now. I've got a lot. Yeah, you see, this is talking about, in this article I got, it's talking about, once again, kind of what Israel is saying about the timing of things. And it says, at Christmas time, sorry, 1 second. The temperature readings show over a period of 3 months that the incidence of frost is as follows: December 2.8 degrees, January 1.6 degrees, February 0.1 degrees. And it says that there's the first 2 months have also the greatest rainfall in the year, approximately 6 inches in December and nearly 8 inches in January. At Christmas time, Bethlehem is in the grip of frost, and in the promised land, no cattle would have been in the fields in that temperature. Yeah, so that already tells you, yeah, around Christmas time, both animal, even nowadays, today, in this day and age that we live in now, Christmas time in Palestine, animals and shepherds are in the stables and in their yards under cover. Yeah, they're not out in the fields roaming. That's only in the warm months. Yeah, so doesn't that already prove to you that if the stable was free, it was not winter? And even the fact that they were traveling so far, how come in the Bible there's no mention about when they were traveling, they were cold or they needed extra blankets? There's nothing about that. Nothing. It just says they were just traveling. She was on the donkey and, Joseph was walking alongside, and that's it. Yeah, there's no mention of it was frosty, it was winter time, none of that. Nothing. There's no evidence at all to prove it. Yeah, none of it. So whether you want to believe or not, that's your choice, but the evidence is there, mate. And it's very clear. And if you don't want to believe, that's your choice. So
we're going to finish shortly anyway, but see, probably the last thing I want to highlight, which for those who want to jump up and down about how you will arrive at the 25th of December as a special date, and tell people, remember that as far as the 25th of December is concerned, Jesus was born on that day. That's the day that we, and anyway, the connection of Santa Claus also, Jesus was born the 25th. The connection of Santa Claus is because of St. Nicholas. Fine. If you go down the St. Nicholas route, then I want you to also talk about, to use a Jamaican terminology, inspiring P, because he wasn't alone. Right? So why are you only mentioning St. Nicholas and you're not mentioning Krampus? And the two walk together.
Yeah.
They never walked one without the other because the two of them are demons. Just that one is a nice looking demon and the other one isn't.
Yeah.
And one is a punishing demon and the other one is not a punishing demon.
It's a rewarding one, yeah.
It's a rewarding demon. And in the world of witchcraft, they have punishments and they have rewards.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that it's not demonic.
The dream.
Doesn't mean that it's not demonic, because it's still demonic. Just because it's a reward, all of a sudden that means it's not demonic.
Yeah.
Because no, we're not talking about Jesus has blessed you, and here is your blessing from the Lord, that the Lord has blessed your father, your mother, or whoever to be able to work, to gain money, or whatever business they've got, and they've blessed you with ABC. No, this is be a good boy, be a good girl, write a letter to Santa.
Yeah.
Which Santa are you writing that letter to? And you're going to pause it and send it where?
Yeah.
right?
And it goes where?
Why are you not teaching them about prayer?
Mhm.
Get down on your knees and pray and say,
Mhm.
Lord God Almighty of heaven,
Yeah.
bless me with A, B, C, and D.
Mhm.
But no, instead you tell them to write a letter to Santa.
No.
So you've got children who are sick in hospital writing a letter to Santa.
To
Dear
get
Santa,
better.
my brother
Yeah.
is sick in hospital and he needs a new heart.
Please
No!
give him a new heart. And
Teach them to pray
exactly.
and call on the name of Jesus
Mhm.
for the new heart.
Yeah.
You're calling Satan, sorry, Santa
Yeah,
for the. We might as well call him Satan anyway.
Mhm.
You're calling Santa for the new heart.
Yeah, for the new heart.
No,
What rubbish. And
no.
even people who are dressing up as Santa, yeah, and you're paying and taking your children to go see Santa and whatnot and etc. Listen, every child in the family knows, yeah, and I already told everybody as well. If you don't want me to tell your child that Santa doesn't exist, don't bring them around
That's
me,
right.
because I will, and I already have.
And I told all of mine, the only
Yeah.
Santa Claus in this yard is
It's
your dad.
Exactly, your parents.
Right?
There's no real
Same thing with the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
Ah, tooth fairy. I'll put it under my purse. I said, yeah. And when you go to sleep, I'll put a pound under there. I used to tell them straight
Yeah.
and take the tooth and fling it in the dustbin.
Don't make me laugh.
Did I not say that?
Yeah, you did. And that's the thing, because, you know, it just made me think of Marcus, my nephew. And he said, he woke up and he said, oh, Mum, what happened? You forgot to do my tooth. He said, you forgot to leave my money for the tooth. Not, oh, what happened? The tooth fairy didn't come. Whereas other houses, that's what they'd be saying. Oh, no, the tooth fairy didn't come. And even people now are taking it to the levels, right? Levels. Like with the Christmas thing. Have you seen the elves on the shelf business? Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this because it's more, I didn't think so, because it's more prevalent for like people of my generation, for their children. And what they're doing is they're bringing these little elves, right? These little, you know, like little gnomes, little elves that are about this big, little wooden and like soft, whatever, just little characters. And they put them around the house. And then when the children wake up, the elves have been doing something. So like, yeah, I'm not joking. So like they'll do different, sometimes they'll have them doing nice things. Like they'll wake up, the elf is by their bed and it's brought them a chocolate bar or something like that. Or it could be that they make them do bad things, like the elf knocked something over in the kitchen. So they'll fabricate this, knock over the sugar, and then put the elf there in the position to make the child think that the elf has knocked over the sugar. Then they'll say, oh, look, the elf has been naughty. If the elf keeps doing the naughty things, what's going to happen? And then, of course, the child replies, oh, Santa won't be bringing in any presents and blah, blah. So this is now the probably the more friendly version of the Krampus business. You know what I mean? To try and encourage children. And it teaches them that magic aspect of it as well, doesn't it? That these small little creatures are going about their house when they're sleeping.
Reward and punishment.
Things. Yeah, reward and punishment. Once again. Yeah, and people are hard on the elves on the shelf thing, you know. Hard on it. Yeah, even doing the advent calendar with the elf is opening it and all these sort of little things. And I'm seeing it on my Facebook all the time.
Devilish.
Yeah. And that's only a new thing. It's only started a few years ago that they started this elf business. It wasn't always a thing. And clearly it must be a new little pagan tradition, ritual that has been pushed out into the masses. And people have, as per usual, pulled it in and brought it to their yards and started bringing it with their children and whatever else. Yeah? What rubbish. I'm telling you now, I will happily have my child as one of those children who is telling everyone else there is no Santa. Stop the foolishness. You're not going to no North Pole. Your letter ain't going there. It's going to the post office and it's getting flung in the bin. Yeah? Along with all the other children's letters to Santa that are just going to be flung in the bin by
Exactly.
the post office because they're not interested. Because there are those parents that even their children they're not even children anymore. They're becoming teenagers, and still they have them believing that Santa Claus exists and he's there, and he's look, doing footprints on the floor and all kind of.
That he came in.
Yeah, and he brought the snow with him. So he brought he's dusted out the yard with his boots coming to eat your cookie, when really it was your mum eating the cookie while she's watching EastEnders last night when you were in bed. Yeah? Why? What rubbish?
Yeah, and they won't tell them to pray to Jesus.
Yeah. Then they'll say, oh no, no, that's crazy. You lot are crazy for that. But you lot are here fabricating snow on the floor and eating cookies, pretending, and even crunching a piece of the carrot off to pretend it's his reindeer, and all these sorts of strange behaviors. And that's normal. But believing in Jesus and praying and going to church, or reading the Bible and these sorts of things, no, then there's something wrong with you. You're not right in the head. You're indoctrinated and you're brainwashed. But you lot are not brainwashed. But we are
believing in the carrot eating reindeer and I don't know what.
Yeah, flying reindeer. So enchanted animals then.
But what they'll turn around and tell you is that, well, if they're fake, then so is Jesus.
Yeah.
No problem. We don't have to get into that.
You know what I mean? That's fine. You enjoy your Krampus and Father Christmas and whatever they want to cook. Because even that one, they tell, Father Christmas. That was to make him more acceptable towards obviously Christians and etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah.
So we're going to stop it there.
Mm-hmm.
Next week will be the last Tuesday of the year.
Oh, yes.
The 29th. We'll still do a live.
Yeah.
And I've got a very, very disgusting one for you.
What it could be?
Modern day cannibalism.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
We said we were going to touch it before and we didn't.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Remember? We left it alone.
Left it alone, yeah.
So that's the one we're coming with, because people will be off and those who want to join they can. But that's what we're going to speak about on the last Tuesday of the year. Mm-hmm. Modern day cannibalism.
And trust me, I've got enough already. I don't even have to listen. The notes are already in my head. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Right, and we will name the names of some of the modern day cannibals.
Yeah, and I'll be showing you the complete evidence as well. I'll be coming with many pictures actually, because there are some things that you need to see.
So we're going to talk about that modern day cannibalism.
Yeah, boy, I bet you there's going to be enough people flying onto that one.
They'll be saying this and that. I'm going to advertise it from early.
Yeah, so that
I'm going to advertise it today.
Yeah.
And tell them this is what's coming next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, good night. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you for joining.
See you later.
Bye.
That dog is a joker, isn't he?